these two sides met earlier on this season at Montjuic. It was a game that Girona really and truly should have gotten something out of. Barcelona won 2-1 thanks to an injury time winner from Araujo, but in the first half Girona had 4 one-on-ones which they spurned.
Good recovery and work, defensive work from Olmo's. His job today. Normally he links up with the attackers and he himself finds in offensive positions to finish actions, but he's got a goal today. By the way, as you see the pictures there, you won't find one single empty seat. It's all sold out, isn't it? And it was interesting to remember that in 2017 there was a video of Girona kid having to choose for that season the Barcelona shirt or the Girona shirt. Who am I? What is my team? Obviously, this was a Girona advertisement, so we picked the Girona shirt. But there was a time where that doubt was possible. But I think through success, it's a clear case now that the Girona fans, first and foremost.
Here is Fermin Lopez slaloming his way through, goes past Witsel, finds Ferran, and still Ferran. In the end, Ibn was there. Then come Barcelona through Koundé. It's De Jong. Koundé continues his run. I remember being in Girona once and a taxi driver telling me that he got a Girona season ticket to guarantee that he could get to see Barcelona at least once a season.
Welcome.
There was a time where Espanyol could actually pick youngsters from Girona, not anymore. They've got a strong academy as well. They created an identity very quickly.
It was Lamine Yamal cutting inside, floating across in. Van Martin trying to launch a counter, but Kubarsi will go all the way back to Joan Garcia. Recovered by Girona in a dangerous position. Optimistic pass from Van Martin. This is Lamine. Well watched by Arnau. It does look like it is Arnau who is playing at left back and Dele Blind at centre back. We have seen Blind at left back at times this season for Girona. Alex Moreno is the first choice left back. He is out, and there is no other left back in the Girona squad.
So Arnau plays in another position. It's only goalkeeper number 9, I think, that isn't playing for this team.
Extremely versatile, and he's a terrific player, Arnau Martinez, as Van comes forward. Beautiful bit of skill, clever pass. Finds Tsigankov. Van doing extremely well, unable to in the end get a shot away, but danger there for Barcelona.
That's the evolution we're talking about. Girona used to have 20 passes before actually coming to an attack, and now every time they've got the ball, they turn, and there is 2 or 3 players running behind and hoping to be found with players advised to actually do that, just to play more direct.
It is the smallest stadium in the Primera División, Montilivi. It has not been a fortress this season. Girona with the 3rd worst home record in the division, just 13 points from a possible 33.
Suffering from the stats of the beginning of the season.
Yes.
The 3rd worst attack, the 5th worst defence.
Brian Hill getting forward down this left-hand side. Pulls it back. He's looking for the arrival of Tsigankov. Having a decent season. Brian Hill has actually been capped 5 times for Spain. Last cap coming in November 2024. Brian Hill, yeah. Not suggesting that he's going to the World Cup, but
Nico Williams
yeah.
has stopped now until he's cleared the procedure or at least he feels much better. Totally stopped. He's not going to play again. So he's missing key moments of the season. And that kind of player that can beat defenders 1v1. Victor Muñoz is one. That is so nice, doing really well. Brian Hill is another one. There's not a nexus of them on that wing.
It's Frankie de Jong looking for Fermin. Looking to recover the ball, Fermin. He's scored Fermin in the Champions League, in La Liga, in the Super Cup. He hasn't scored in the Copa del Rey so far this season, and he came the closest anyone came for Barcelona, hitting the woodwork against Atletico Madrid. Of course, Pau Cubarsí did score in that game, but it was ruled out for offside, I think. I'm still not entirely sure why.
Manually calculated offside. Fermin, number 16 of Barcelona, if you want to know why Chelsea wanted him, why he thought about leaving, perhaps there was financial reasons behind it, but he decided to stay. The importance of him for both Spain and Barcelona, you've seen it already, the way he tries to have those that have got the ball, he's trying to get it back, and his runs from midfield, he plays in front of Olmo and De Jong, and he's a goal scorer as well, which is very valuable as a midfielder.
Fermin, double figures for goals and assists this season. One of 3 players in the Barcelona squad. He's out now. Brian Hill is going to be offside, and by some distance, but the move will continue. It's pulled back, and the flag will go up. You can see he was trying to hold his run. Pass didn't come, and then eventually there was about a metre or 2 offside when it did finally come.
And that is what drives people mad. It was an obvious offside, could have been given then. I know what linesmen and referees defend, which is that you have to let it go just in case we got it wrong. But the last stat I saw is that linesmen get offside calls right. This was in the last World Cup, 97% of the time. So it should be a little bit brave on us.
Rincon with the clearance. As far as Eric Garcia continues to be the key man in this Barcelona squad, certainly in terms of minutes played. Eric Garcia, nobody's come close to playing as many minutes as he has.
I was talking to somebody that you know very well, Albert Ferrer, who I trust his judgment more than most. He reckons Cubarsí and Eric Garcia are the best 2 centre-backs in Spain. Should start with the national side. But the fame of others, the clubs they play for, doesn't make that a guarantee, an automatic guarantee. He sees so much in them. In this style, for sure, they're fast, come in from the back, but they're not bad defenders at all. Quite the opposite. Plus, Eric Garcia very versatile, can play holding midfield as well.
It does feel like the centre-back pairing the World Cup for Spain is potentially up for grabs. You look at some of their centre-backs and they haven't been in particularly good form this season. Robert Lenormand, Laporte, Danny Vivian, Howson. So Brian Hill doing really well. He'll keep this in, finds the cross. Jean Garcia gathers. He's been lively, Brian Hill.
In a way, this is a typical Barcelona game, isn't it? They're not imposing themselves from the beginning.
Lovely ball. I mean, to Fermin, and Rafinha is in space. The finish, just wide. It looked like it was going to be buried into the bottom corner. Rafinha made the space, got the shot away. Couldn't find the back of the net. Very direct play there from Barcelona.
Yeah, it's a transitional team, isn't it? Foremost, they can actually keep the ball if they want to, but they're very, very comfortable with those transitions, especially again if Rafinha is involved, and that was a really good opportunity. And it matched what I was saying, that Barcelona don't seem to impose their football at the beginning, but they have quite in front.
And there is loads of space here for Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal has travelled loads of metres and can't find the finish. Well, it almost felt like he had too much time, too much space, thought about it for too long, and in the end, shot straight at Paulo Gazzaniga. Very disappointing finish there for Lamine Yamal. Play on, says the referee. There was a foul on Thomas Lemar. There was an enormous gap. Lamine just kept going and going and going.
That was an interesting choice from the defender, which of course hasn't got the pace of Lamine, but he was waiting, perhaps knowing Lamine for the pass, but there was no pass available, and it was becoming clear that he was going to have a chance to shoot.
So two very decent sights of goal for Barcelona in quick succession. It's true that they have not been, generally speaking, particularly impressive in the first halves of matches. 75% of their goals in La Liga have been conceded in the first halves. Here's Brian Hill, tackled by Kubarsi.
And only, I think the same stuff, only 24 minutes got ahead at half time.
Here's Tsigankov. Halfway back Hill, Rincon. Still Rincon. Arnau's calling for it on the edge of the box. Nice rhythm to this game so far.
But one thing that's interesting is that Barcelona hasn't conceded big chances, but because there is that fear that it could happen, or the noise that of the threat, the impression that they are weak even though they're not. That show that they're one of the best defenses around. But that hopeful moment of space in front of the players excites the crowd and leaves the players.
By Lemar. Might get another chance here, Thomas Lemar. Kiel that time unable to produce a cross as we see this chance for Rafinha. Wasn't far away, and it was a very, very good opening.
If you decide to watch this game and started to come off from the beginning of the game, where they had 3 chances, or 6 shots of Girona. As you said, very, very high tempo. 2 teams that have gone to attack.
Well, the foul given against Lamine Yamal, he's not particularly impressive that, but now is on the floor. It looked like he just shrugged him off, but no, there's the flailing arm.
Both arms stretched. And, player was cleverer than the other.
Doesn't seem to be a huge amount of contact with Arnau's face. The free kick given. Here is Eric Garcia to Olmo. Barcelona just calming things down for a second. To Kubarsi. Gave an interview this week, Pau Kubarsi, speaking about playing for Barcelona and being a Barcelona fan, and he was asked about being a fan as a child. He said the first big game of Barcelona that I can remember was the 2015 Champions League final. So there we go. Thanks for making us all feel extremely old, Pau.
He's a kid.
Turned 19 3 weeks ago.
His first game in the Champions League was against
Yes.
He was incredible. He was intelligent, anticipating, and fixing it in 17. This is not by chance. Of course, his career took off there, and he's regular with Spain. Not always in the lineup, but regular with Barcelona.
It's his 113th appearance for Barcelona, and he's only 19, so... It's Koundé. Gets it back from Fermin, pushed a little bit wide. Lamine tries to give it back to him. Well watched by Brian Hill. Here's Arnau. Witsel. Hill's continued his run. Great passing from Girona. Space for Tsigankov. Rincon. The run on the overlap. It's into Van Aert. The flag stays down. Van Aert gets the shot away. But it wasn't the cleanest of strikes, and Garcia makes a save.
And it was a very good pressure from Barcelona. There was a little bit of a rebound here and there, and luck as well in the passing of Girona. But one of the weaknesses of this Barcelona has been identified is the back of the fullbacks, especially Koundé, who hasn't been at the races in recent weeks. But everybody was helping. You had Fermin there, trying to recover the ball on the right-hand side of the defence of Barcelona. De Jong was there. There was 4 or 5 players. Girona managed to get away from that, and when that happens, then of course there's a chance of ended up on the edge of the box with a bit of space. And that just risk it.
He's Ferran, he's found Rafinha, twisting and turning. Ferran gets the shot away, just wide. And the chances keep coming for Barcelona. Another really good opportunity. Ferran Torres unable to find that far corner he was looking for. Might have just been offside there. Barcelona's top scorer in La Liga, Ferran Torres. 12 goals so far.
38-year-old Lewandowski has to every moments which tend to come in the Champions League. I think he's played started 5 of the 8 games in the Champions League. He scored 42 goals in 52 games last season, but has to be very honest with the Polish striker and saying, well, Ferran is Torres is my number 9, and Ferran is proven to be a very good one.
How come Sean Garcia read that nicely? Had to as well. It's nice to pump it forward. With a header, it's Koundé. And he finds Brian Hill to Arnau. Side flag stays down. Here is Hill down the left-hand side. And he goes up.
Garcia and everybody else at Barcelona would like not to have to run these runs. But this was quite a close call. The placement was in perfect position.
Tries to thread it in to Rafinha. We'll see how many minutes Rafinha manages. Of course, coming back from an injury, he's been out for a couple of weeks. He's been active in his opening 25 or so.
That was Torres very alert. Centre back of Girona, so a very, very good season on from Manchester City.
It's Koundé. Martin gets it back from Ferran. That is not his best cross. He kept it by Lamine. Well watched by Arnau. Really good defending from Arnau. The pass isn't quite good enough to find Brian Hill. Well, who had been in absolutely sensational form. going into the game against Atletico Madrid. He'd scored in 5 consecutive games for the first time in his career. It was a bad night at the office for pretty much everyone in Metropolitano, from a Barca perspective. Rafinha gets a shot away. You could tell as soon as he worked it onto his left foot, there was only one thing in his mind. Struck it beautifully. Wasn't far away at all.
Another reason why Rafinha is important to the team. One other player you see doing that always thinks of see if he can pass the ball through and to make his move, Ferran Torres make the run. Rafinha doesn't think twice about trying shots that perhaps are difficult to conclude, but in any case does make the defence alert and sometimes forces them to come out of their comfort zone.
Gets it back. This space here for Brian Hill, who's onside. And he's found Van Aert. Brilliant save from Joan Garcia. Again, I'm not sure if there was an offside flag there, but it is a terrific save to deny Van Aert.
That's, I'm sure, what they've been working on this week. So Brian Hill remain as wide as he could on the left-hand side. The whole of Barcelona, with 2 or 3 passes of Girona, get attracted to the ball and then leave him on his own. And Tisakov knows that he doesn't even need to look. So when he's got the opportunity to control the ball, and there's not much time or space to do anything with it when they're trying to beat that high defense of Barcelona, he knows he's got to move the ball to the other side, and somebody will be there to receive the ball, which was Brian Hill, and that's where the chance was created.
He's Koundé.
I think Girona means to have a line of 7 defending, but Barcelona dominates you in such a way that it forces you sometimes to defend very, very close and very deep, as they are doing right here.
Girona do have one of the deepest defensive lines in La Liga this season. It's Ferran lifting it up to Lamine. Koundé gets stuck under his feet. Lamine busting a gut to recover possession. Olmo. Eric Garcia back to Olmo. De Jong. They're trying to take on Brian Hill. Lamine. Back to Olmo. Long spell of possession this for Barcelona. Back out to Koundé again.
That's the only way, isn't it? Facing such a big wall where everybody's involved in the defending, absolutely everybody in Girona, just move the ball around, 1 to 2 touches, keep moving the ball. It will be a mistake, it will be a gap, it will be a creative player that will come out with something. So it will be fine.
Not now protesting his innocence.
Very soft.
Captains Girona are now. Christian Stuani isn't on the pitch. He's given away a free kick here. In a promising position for the visitors.
What to do with the ball about 7.5 centimeters toward the left. So probably it's going to take.
In from Olmo towards Koundé. Shot from Eric Garcia is blocked. Lamine floats the ball in. Koundé almost connecting. Fermin with the shot. There were claims of a handball from the Girona players. The referee saying that it was controlled with the chest.
It was interesting that pass from Lamine, the outside of his foot, is not where the player was, it's where he wanted the player to be. And they've done this often, set pieces. Koundé read what he meant. And he almost headed it.
Sensational ball in from Lamine, well attacked by Koundé. But if Barcelona don't win today, it'll be the first time since match day 13 they've not been top of the table at the end of a match day. Rafinha looking for the electric Fermin Lopez. Decided to go for goal from a difficult angle. Barcelona themselves points behind the Real Madrid side, who they feel, I think other people do as well, they're superior to, but the table doesn't lie.
Yeah, what Real Madrid one way, they get a manager that thinks, all right, I've got these players, what about these players? I just give them a chance to do so. In the league, anyway, it's just been 5 games, 5 wins. Been knocked out though in the cup and having to play Benfica the extra round in the Champions League started this week. But in the league, yeah, not only they're getting the victories, now they're getting them quite clear victories against Real Sociedad, for instance, the fashionable team of the moment. They went to the Bernabeu and didn't see Real Sociedad at all.
Clint coming away with the ball for Girona. It's Brian Hill. Lamar. Back to Hill. Banat's in the middle. He's found him. Sigankov gets there. Van Martin. To Hill. Lamar. Mitchell. How Van Aert didn't connect to that cross. Lincoln comes forward. Garcia will clear.
Yeah, this move will not appear perhaps in the highlights or reports in the morning, but it's the one that Girona has to take advantage of. There's a great late cap between Lemar, close to one, waiting wide, and Brian Hill, 1-2 that allowed Brian Hill to go into space, where Banat should just basically put the foot and finish the action. Great chance for Girona. Certainly won't appear in the reports in the morning with the highlights, because it's been a busy first half. Loads going on.
Certainly has. You see this again, a chance for Van Aert. Really looked for all the world like he was going to connect. Barcelona fashioning 8 shots so far in this first half, just 1 on target.
How about Girona?
A couple of shots from Girona, both of them have been on target.
Both shots from Banat and that chance to finish as well from the striker.
All the way back to Gazzaniga. From one goalkeeper to the other. Juan Garcia to Koundé. Messi coming forward, looking for the pass. Cut out by Lamar. renaissance in his career, Thomas Lemar. Winning possession back.
That interview you mentioned of Larguero, Cadena Ser Radio. He was talking about Lemar, how 2 conversations he had with him, convincing that he was desperate to succeed again, to recover the level that he had and has lost 2 years, which are the soil because of injury. And you're right, he's starting to become that kind of player that shine.
This is his 7th consecutive league start, Thomas Lemar. He's got his first goal for 3 years last match day against Sevilla. The ball comes in and finds Lemar, who controls, trying to find Ferran. Read by David Blind. Michel calling for calm on the sidelines.
The young was protesting, I think, in the direction of Lamine Yamal, who after his action didn't track back. They all had to leave this position.
It's Tsigankov. And a dangerous ball flashed across the 6-yard box. Getting closer, Girona.
At least they know exactly what they have to do. They all think in the same way. They all know what to attack. They all know what position to wait for the ball, be behind, to make those runs. And they stretch Barcelona.
To come away, but he's fouled. Right. Gerard Martin just waits for everyone to catch up with him. It's De Jong.
It's difficult for Barcelona to find the players in space between the lines. And without that, it's relatively easy to defend Barcelona.
And wide with Lamine. Goes long. For Van Aert. Looking for Kubasi.
Girona not risking a lot building from the back. It hasn't always been long, but actually the enormous possession is one of the strengths of Barcelona will be a defensive transition to let you be comfortable with the ball.
Getting forward, and he might have to go it all on his own, the centre-back. Went down on the edge of the area. He's won a free kick. Well, what an individual run from Vitorais.
I think the team said, all right, good luck, see you later. And nobody goes and supports him. Just more concerned perhaps in case he lost the ball, but he did extremely well. And that is a foul, and that is a yellow. So it doesn't matter if Eddie Garcia doesn't agree with it, but he just got petrol out of that run.
Let's see what Girona can do from this. Eric into the book. Tsigankov standing over this. I'm sure he fancies it. His left foot. Zigankov strikes it. Hit it well. Just wasn't quite coming down quickly enough. Well, Barcelona have had more clear opportunities in this first half. Girona have more than competed. It is pretty even as we tick towards half-time.
It's a long time to go, but I think there's 2 points for relegation.
Here is Rafinha. Space for Rafinha! Denied by the woodwork. Rafinha goes close again.
As you can see, it just doesn't take long for Barcelona to get into the box and finish action, especially if Rafinha's involved. And when he does, well, you better keep an eye on him because things may happen. He had already one of the best chances, the first one of the early ones in the game, and a shot from outside the box, and this was the third opportunity for him, and he's getting closer.
From Rafinha, deep corner, finding Ferran, headed back into space, only as far the clearance to Lamine. Ferran whips it in towards Olmo, and Eric Garcia. Garcia stays down. The clash of heads between him and Rincon.
I think he has been working with the total clashes. He has to be complaining more about the fall than the head.
Can't really see from that angle. Is there a little shove on him in the back?
Well, Rincon doesn't fight for that ball, but there's no really foul.
That was the 24th time that Barcelona have hit the woodwork in La Liga this season. It's 6 more now than any other team in Europe's 5 big leagues. So they've already scored 99 goals this season, but it could have been a load more with some of those shots against the woodwork gone in. As we said, Barcelona looking to bring up the century of goals this season. They scored 174 in all competitions last season, which is the third highest in their history. Big times. They had someone called Lionel in their squad.
Goes up.
It's Kubarsi as we tick into injury time at the end of what's been a pretty entertaining first half. Just 1 minute added on.